Well, welcome, welcome, everybody. I am so excited that you're here. Now, we are just starting to do these Zoom calls, these share calls, and we're just going to kind of test this out and see if this helps bring new people in and just kind of have a little bit of a maybe later we can do an interactive, but we're just going to have kind of a little bit of a product preview. So, for those of you that don't know me, I am Kayleen Davies. I live in Idaho Falls, Idaho, and I have been using this product that I'm going to be telling you about for a few weeks now. So I'm excited to share some information with you. So welcome. I'm glad that you're here. If I can get my thing to work now. So I've got there's somebody popping in here. I wonder if I'm going to pause the recording. Okay, so we're resuming. We had to pause for a minute. So welcome back. I just want to just up front to read our disclaimer here that anything that we cover here. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product that you'll be hearing about is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any kind of illness or disease. It is not intended to use by children or pregnant or lactating women. And if you are taking medication or have a medical condition, consult your healthcare provider. So we just need to make sure that we have that disclaimer, that we make sure that we're protecting our company. So, how many of you think that we have pollution everywhere in the world? We
Yes.
have pollution. There's stuff in the air that we breathe. There's stuff in the food that we eat. And sometimes that, for those of us that want to watch the scales, it affects the scales, but not just our weight scale, but what about our health scale? And Karen, is it showing that it's recording on your end?
Well, it was showing.
I'm just worried that it's not recording.
Yes, yes,
Okay, it
it's
is.
recording. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Hmm. Yep.
All right, just making sure. So we want to take a look at not just our weight, but our health. How are these things affecting our health? Do you feel like ever that you are just running on empty battery all the time? I did for years. And I don't know how many of you feel like that in the middle of the afternoon, you just are having a slump, or how many of you have been like me in the past and wake up more tired, feeling more tired than you were when you went to bed. There's something wrong with
Yeah.
this picture. We shouldn't be doing that. Or how many of you have a hard time sleeping? Maybe you feel like that your heart health is not where it needs to be. What about your digestion? What about your colon and your stomach? And what about joints? Do you have inflammation? So, I I was not taking care of my body like I should, and it affected my knee. And a year ago, I almost a year and a half ago, I had to have a new knee. And I know a lot of that was because of the extra weight that I was carrying. Now, this is not about weight loss. This is about overall health. So, if you're not sure where you want to go to get the answers, I might be struggling with my heart, my digestion, my sleep, my this, my that, fill in the blank, and you're not quite sure where you want to go for the answers. Well, hang on. Let's take a look. We've got these matured hops extract, and there it's a plant. Matured hops is a plant, it's from nature, and we're going to learn a little bit about, or you're going to learn, we're all going to learn together what a few things that these matured hops extract does. Who's ready? Who's ready to learn what some of these things do? Hold on, I'm just letting somebody else in. So introducing fix. Introducing fix. I gotta move this thing off to the side here. PHIX, and I love the way that they named it because if you know about pH, it's important to have our pH leveled out. So I thought that was kind of fun that they have the pH. Hi, Denise, you made it on. Um, so Fix is uh, it's a stimulant-free dietary supplement that's formulated with matured hops extract, MHE for short. um, that which is the matured hops flour. So it's the matured hops and not just, you can get hops anywhere. There's hops blossoms, there's hops extract, there's hops this, hops that. And you can get a lot on like Amazon and everywhere. But what we're talking about is a special extract from the matured hops. A lot of them are not the matured hops. This is the matured hops extract. And the extraction process is actually patent pending, so no one else can duplicate what our company here has to offer. Research um, has found from double-blind, placebo-controlled studies suggests that the matured hops extract can support healthy body composition. It can address your visceral fat reduction, pick me, and cognitive function. That's your focus, your thinking. And what does this mean for you? So I'm going to share with you. What is visceral fat? For those of you that don't know what visceral fat, that's that fat that's around the middle. It actually, its job is we have these toxins, like we talked about at the beginning, things that are in the air, in our food, in our water. And we have toxins that are coming to us all the time, coming into us all the time. And in order for an attempt to help us so we don't have as many toxins go into the internal organs, this fat surrounds these toxins. Well, that's the toxins and the fat that is around the liver, the pancreas, I mean, all of those internal organs. And so we have this pooch, we have this extra. And I will tell you, even those that are thin, that don't have a lot of that extra fat, they still, that you can't see visibly, a lot of thin people have visceral fat because it is still protecting our organs. So that excess belly fat is that visceral fat, and that can increase the risk of various health problems, including, get a load of this, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, and some certain cancers. It also contributes to a lot of inflammation. Now, if you have one or any of these things, and we need to take a look at your visceral fat. I'm not saying look at it, but maybe it's time to really take a look. Is this really related to all of these? And this is just a few things. This is just a few. High blood pressure is another one. So if you're experiencing a lot of these things, it could be attributed with having too much visceral fat. How about your sleep? Not being able to breathe, the sleep apnea. So what about the vagus nerve? We talked about the vagus nerve a little bit, but a lot of people don't know what the vagus nerve. We have 12 cranial nerves, main cranial nerves in our head. We have like one that is helps with the eyes, one with the hearing, the seeing, the hearing, the smell, the taste, and different ones have more specific jobs that they do. The vagus nerve is one of those 12, but it is probably the longest one in of the cranial nerves, which goes from the brain clear through the body. And you can see this picture here. It goes clear through to the intestinal tract. So that is going to influence the digestive. So if you are having some digestive problems, so these are some things that if our vagus nerve isn't working the way that it needs to, it's not activated like it needs to be, we could experience digestive problems, cardiovascular issues, changes in your immune. A lot of these autoimmune things that we are experiencing, or just we're just have you do you know somebody, or maybe it might be you, that feel like that they're experiencing getting sick every time they turn around, and that's because they have a low immune. um, Even the mental health symptoms. So there's a simple way to support your vagus nerve. There's a lot of things that you can do. There's different breathing techniques. There's a lot of things that you can do, but I don't know about you, but I have a hard time doing a lot of these things on a regular basis to keep my vagus nerve activated and working the way it needs to be. And so there's a very simple way to support your vagus nerve and reduce the visceral fat, and that is matured hops extract. The fix is odorless, it's tasteless, it's colorless, and it helps us to have more energy. If you have your health, you're going to have energy. So for me, and every body is different, but for me, I had been really, really tired. I wasn't sleeping a lot. I was taking probably 5 or 6 supplements every night to help my my crawly legs. And I couldn't sleep. I couldn't go to sleep and I couldn't stay to sleep. So I was taking things, and I was taking natural things, but I was taking a lot of them. The magnesium, the calcium, and on and on and on. And when I started on this matured hops extract, they're just drops. You just put them in your water or drink of choice, drink them down, and let it do its thing. And I noticed within a few days, I didn't need all of my supplements that I was taking at night. Within 1 hour, and for me, I was probably one of the exception, but within 1 hour after I had my first dose, I had zero sugar cravings, and my sugar cravings were going through the roof. They were awful. And ever since I was a little girl, it was just like, oh, I want this cookie, but no, I can't have it. And I want this, but no, I can't have it. And I don't know if any of you have experienced this, but I've had this internal fight my whole life. I've struggled with weight my whole life. Now, this is not a weight loss product. This is visceral fat. This is getting rid of the visceral fat. So as we are reducing that visceral fat, you're going to release a lot of inches. Now, there's a lot of people that because of that, they are releasing weight as well. But I'm sleeping better. The calm that I feel, I've never felt before. I have more long-lasting energy. I don't have that slump in the middle of the afternoon like I used to. My sugar cravings, like I mentioned, I am just overall feeling much, much better. So that's what it's done for me. It'll be interesting to see what it does for you. Um, I do have something. Hold on. I thought I was going to the other slide. Are you ready to take charge of your health, activate your vagus nerve, decrease your visceral fat, increase your energy, increase your quality of sleep, improve your mental focus? And there's other things. People are seeing so many other things. This is just a few. And I'm not going to say you will have this and this and this and this, because everybody, like I mentioned, is different. Everyone experiences different things. So with that, I told you we're going to just keep this short and sweet and to the point. We're going to have a share here. So I am going to stop sharing, and I have Karen Snyder here. and you're on mute, so you'll just need to unmute yourself. There you go. Karen, do you mind if I share how we met?
Sure, that's great.
This is this is so interesting. So when I started these, I thought, oh, I wasn't going to share it with anybody. I was just going to keep it to myself. And I don't know if any of you are spiritual, but I had this strong impression to, oh, the way other thing I didn't mention, I lost 1 inch off my waist in one day. I measured 3 times. I'm going, what? How can I lose 1 inch? That was my sign that this is working. Anyway, I had this impression, do a post on TikTok. And I'm going, no, I don't do TikTok. I haven't done TikTok for several months. 3 times I had this impression. So I did a little post on TikTok. This lady responded and we started chatting. And this lady ordered, and this lady is who you're seeing, Karen.
Yay! I wanted to say, what is that blue bottle? I want that.
So Karen, if you would just share a little bit where you were before Fix and now that you're on a journey and how long, and just like I said, not meant to diagnose or, anything, but Karen has some fun things to share. So,
Sure. Well, my husband and I had been really struggling with some fatigue. And we had, a lot of people have been going through the last 3 or 4 years with certain viruses that were coming out. And then we contracted another virus, and I was, exhausted. And we started taking the drops, and within 3 days, I noticed I've got some energy. I am starting to feel better. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. So that was the start of it. And then I started noticing after a few more days, I was sleeping better at night. And then after that, I noticed there's some changes in my digestive issues, all the things going on in my gut were a whole nother thing that had been going on since the viruses hit us. And so I became more regular. And then I started noticing some inches off, and the bloating was just going away. And um, let's see what else. Just more clear thinking, more focus. And then I have some issues with anxiety, or I did, and that was going away, and I was just feeling calm and rested. And after several weeks, I started feeling like, I feel like a teenager again. How long has it been since I have felt so good? And the other thing is, I've been taking it for 12 weeks now, and I haven't been sick once during that 12 weeks. And I'm one of the ones that you were talking about where constantly the colds, the flus, I know it was because my vagus nerve was out of balance. And I haven't been sick since that time. And I was like, hallelujah. So, and my husband too, he was one of the ones where he didn't notice right away, but his focus and his energy levels came up. Oh, and the other thing is inflammation has just gone down,
mhm.
way down. So those are the things that I can think of right off the top of my head. And I feel so good right now. And the inches are slowly coming off. It's not like a huge. Oh, and the one thing that I told Kayleen was that I could bend over and clip my toenails without struggling. So, I mean, it's the little things.
It's the little things in life that
Yes.
end up being our big things, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, and I might add that since I met Karen and we FaceTimed when we connected our first time, I cannot believe how much younger you look, and your skin is clearer and your eyes are brighter. It's just, I mean, it's huge, huge,
Hmm.
huge difference. So, yeah. Anything else you'd like to share?
Well, the fatigue, just night and day difference. I mean, I could see it in my eyes. I looked exhausted. And like you said, my eyes are brighter, my skin is brighter. Think it's not sagging as much as it used to.
Well, and you
So,
had a little bit of an issue here, a health
oh,
challenge.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes, my thyroid issue, that seems to be getting better. Um, the swelling and stuff has
yeah.
gone down. You
Uh,
can tell
yeah.
when you see in my pictures. So
You
there
know,
was something going on.
if I'd have thought soon enough, we should have gotten it before and in the process of picture to say next time we'll come
I
back.
probably could put together some pictures.
That would be fun. That would be fun. Post in our group, and then we can have to share. But anyway, thank you, Karen, for sharing.
You're
It's just,
welcome.
and this is just one. There are thousands and thousands of people that are just having a lot of success. So, what my advice to you or recommendation? Can I make a recommendation for those of you that are listening? Please get with a person that is sharing this with you. And if you want more information, there's a couple of interesting videos that share a little bit more about that. There's Dr. Ben. I mean, there's a lot of different ones. So, whatever information that you would like to have more of, your your friend who is sharing with you, visit with them and just say, "Hey, I am really interested. I want to try these drops." They can give you all the information, they can give you the price point. We're not going to cover all of that. So visit with the person that invited you here, and we wish you health and happiness by activating your vagus nerve and decreasing the visceral fat. Have a great night.